30 feet around you. It was if your home burnt down, it wouldn't catch the woods on fire. That was the original regulation. So they actually had to restructure the law to make it a 100-foot clearance to protect the home. So now we have a 100-foot clearance for the home. So we're out here. I'm standing about 80 feet from the home right now. So you have a good perspective, and the 100 feet's back here behind me. So we're going to use a checklist, and we're going to kind of go through the checklist. Inside the checklist is inside your house, and everybody's changed their smoke alarms, right? Last weekend we set our clocks so you change the batteries in your smoke alarms. No, we didn't do that. So, okay, just a reminder. Every time you change your time, you change your smoke alarm batteries. And everybody has a fire extinguisher next to their kitchen, so if they get a frying pan fire or something, they can leave the kitchen, get the fire extinguisher, then go back in and put it out. So that's the one page is just talk about inside your home. But we're going to deal today with outside your home. So how do we clear? We don't want to make it no man's land, down to bare earth. We still want to leave some vegetation in for ornamental vegetation. All irrigated vegetation can stay in, like your lawn, like your plants that you irrigate regularly. But when you don't irrigate, those are the trees. The natural plants are designed to burn with fire here in California. There's been, historically, there was a fire on every piece of property between 7 and 11 years, average, in California, before European man came in. So every 7 to 11 years, there was a fire on every inch of California land. So the plants are designed for fire. They're designed for fire to come through and for them to come back after fire.
Thank you.
I'm going to get my glasses here to make sure I cover all the points. So a lot of these plants, like the toyon we were talking about earlier, are going to come back after the fire. The poison oak comes back after fire. Chaparral even loves fire to come back. So these are plants that really need fire in their environment. So, but these are also plants that burn real well from fire. So we want to get rid of those type of brush species. These trees here, if we limb them up high enough, they're going to be fine. So you want to get rid of the dead and dying trees that are here. So that way the fire doesn't race up them so quickly. And he's done a good job of clearing that out, and now he's trying to get rid of the brush in between. So he has very good clearance here. He really has about a good 150-foot clearance.
So how high up a tree do you need to go?
You go as far as you can get your pruning saw. What you do is you take the tree, you do not want to cut any more than 4/10 of the tree. So you want 40% of the tree left. And so if a tree is 10 feet tall, you trim it up the bottom 6 feet. So if the tree's 20 feet tall, you trim up the bottom 12 feet. And so these trees, if you trim them up as far as a pole saw, an easy pole saw will go 12 feet for you. It really will. But most flame lengths, if you clean the area out here, most flame lengths won't go beyond 4 feet. So
what was that again?
The length of the flame, if you keep it clean out here, won't go beyond about 4 feet in height. Their flames here were only a foot. Or she wasn't here when you did this, right? She probably only had 1 to 2 foot flame lengths here.
Less than that even most of the time.
Yeah. So if you want to clear up what they call ladder fuels, you don't want the fire to use the fuels as a ladder to get up to the top. So you want to clean out all this area in here. Now they have a cedar tree here that's isolated. So that's fine. That's not going to be influenced from a running fire through here. So you can have isolated plants. In this handout I gave you, there's more detail about how to do that. And since we talked about it, I'll go ahead and cover that now. This one talks about spacing. So you take 2 times the height of the shrub and you make that space in between them. This is on this page here. There's a light green picture. Here, I'll go ahead and give this to you, and then I'll take this back. and use it and get you all set up here. And you really want to decide, you know, chaparral and manzanita are very very fire-influenced plants. In other words, they're going to produce a lot of flames. I mean, they get, especially in a dry environment, if you don't have any irrigation in the area. And I would highly recommend taking them out within the first 30 feet at least. And maybe just saving them for further out, maybe beyond 100 foot. Because those, just the flame length that comes off of those when they burn, they have a lot of oils inside. So I would really discourage manzanita and chaparral unless they're small little shrub plants. Or there's what they call pine manzanita that grows like a weed against the ground. That would be fine. But to have a high 8 foot, 6 foot high manzanita or chaparral, I'd get rid of it. That's just adding more, literally, fuel to the fire. But these pines, the cedar tree, your Christmas tree, a nice toyon, you know, because you have the red berries in the fall, just isolate them. Just keep them away. And this says 2 times the height. You know, you can have them spaced further than that. And then we talk about slopes. When you put them on slopes, then you do the additional calculations. So we're talking about flat land here. But if you're on are either of you on a slope, a good slope next to your house, then if you have a 20 to 40% slope, then you multiply it by 4 times the height of the shrub. If you're on a greater than 40% slope, which is pretty steep, you guys aren't going to be, that's going to be very difficult to walk, then it's 6 times the height of the fuel. And that's why we give you this flyer, because you're never going to remember those numbers walking away. So those are the basic new rules that they talk about in clearing around the 100 feet, is going out 100 feet and clearing that up. The other rules we're going to be talking about have always been here. Having a screen on top of your fireplace or your chimney. Not having any branches over your fireplace or chimney. Keeping the pine needles out of your rain gutters